Hello. Um, this is episode 2 of the Literate Inebriate, and I recorded an episode earlier today, but it was on a much worse camera. So now I'm going to make myself a much worse drink, and I'm going to talk to you about a book that I'm reading right now that I am almost done with, and I really want to like it, but it's hard. So, the book that I'm reading right now, where did it? So the book that I'm reading right now, I've started it on Sunday, and it is now Tuesday, and I'm reading, it's kind of a funny story by Ned Vizzini. I read the sort of like vague description of the movie when it first came out, and I thought, that sounds kind of okay. But I was really against like teen literature at the time because I was an asshole and I didn't know what I was talking about. Let's be real. But so I finally read enough teen lit. Okay, I get it. Yeah, you teens, the adults that are writing about you, you know what you're talking about. It's pretty good. You do okay. So I'm reading this book, and I really like it, and I really want to like it. The first half of the book is really well written, like teen angst, in a way that actually explains a lot of what depression is, even as an adult. I am an adult. I am 28 years old, and I got diagnosed with generalized anxiety and depression about 2 years ago. So I'm like 10 years ahead of this fucking character in this book, and it's really well written up until he goes to like when he falls down and he gets down and his worst down is not so bad, which I love that his character chooses to call a suicide hotline and get help, and I think it's really important for like a teenager to have in their lives, but I also feel like it's like really fucking like, unrealistic. But okay, so you fucking fix that. Like fine. We just accept that he just like goes and he like checks himself in. Great. I'm so happy for you. You did it. You're like, I smoke pot and I have a crush on my best friend's girlfriend. And I also have clinical fucking depression, which is like a real problem. Not that having a crush on your best friend's girlfriend isn't a real problem. Like, honey, you'll good. You'll be fine. So he has this real problem. And he's like fucked up. And it's really beautiful the way they write about him like falling apart. But then he goes to the like mental health ward, and then it's like literally 2 seconds later, he's like, I'm fine. I'm just gonna like fix everyone else's life. I'm gonna like this girl that cut her face up is fine now. She was raped, but now that I've touched her, she's fine. Because Lord knows that's how it works. And also, like, oh yeah, no, this dude never wanted to leave his room no matter how many manic pixie dream boys came through his room. But now that I'm here, and I'm the only one that thought of bringing him Egyptian music, now he's fine. And 5 days later, I'm still on Xanax, and I'm gonna be fine. Now, I get it, I haven't finished the last 40 pages of this book, but I just feel like, unless it's like, and then I went off my Xanax again, and it really sucked, and everything was hard, and everything's hard when you're, like, mentally distressed, and it's not going to be this easy, and if it's not that easy for you, it's okay. LOL, we love you. And it doesn't matter. Like, I love it because it's so well written. Like, the character's voice is so consistent and so good and so well written, and I really, really, really like the way he describes what it's like to like first figure out that like your shit's not right, like your brain doesn't work right, but like how this whole book revolved around this kid just like getting okay in 5 days, being like literally the day after he checks himself in the hospital, checks himself in. Fucking genius child. And like I don't need these friends. Oh, nothing to me. I'm fine. Like, I still have friends that I spend too much time on. Like, I'm a 28-year-old woman, and I still can't get rid of friends that aren't important to me. Like, it's not, like, ugh. And I don't like making any, like, disparaging comments against this book because, like, Ned Vizzini really went through this, and he had a really hard time, and I feel like this book is, like, his, sort of like his dream ideal of what could have happened to him that didn't. But that's, I think, a bigger moral of the story is that, like, that doesn't happen. Like, you don't get better in 5 days. You don't get back on your meds and just like stay there and you're fine. Like, being a sufferer or chronic depression or anxiety or anything is not, you don't get done with it when you're 16. You might, and that's great, and you should, like, whatever help you can get, you should get. If you need to call a suicide hotline, if you need to go to the hospital, if you need to check yourself in, you should. And I love that there's a book that does that, but I also think it's such a positive and sort of unrealistic spin on what those things actually are. And I think that this is maybe very biased of me and a very bad reviewer, but I mean, this is mostly rum. So why are you asking me to be a good reviewer? But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that, like, if you're gonna write a book about, like, teenage kids with their shit fucked up, like, don't make them think their shit's not gonna get fucked up, like, later on. Like, I feel like I read so many books that were just like, just focus. Just, like, get a drug and focus. You'll be fine. And I'm just like, I'm an adult. That's not true. That's a fucking lie. I just feel like anybody that writes a book about being a teenager as an adult should, like, not lie to kids. I think this book lies to kids. I think it does. I think it lies about what it's like. I think it lies about what it's like to fall in love. I think it lies about what it's like to have depression. I think it lies about what it's like to go to the hospital. I think it is such a good book. It really is. But it's also a terrible book. It's also such a good book. It's also such a terrible book. I would say, if you want to read it, if you already have interest in it, if you already own it, read it. I'm going to watch the movie. I feel like that'll be fun. I like people that are in it. Depends on how the book ends. I have 40 pages left, so we'll see. I think maybe, like, don't read it. Like, there are so many better books about being depressed. Like, read anything by Sylvia Plath. Or, like, read Girl Interrupted. That's the book you should read. No, wait, no. Don't read It's Kind of a Funny Story. It's a good book. If you already want to read it, if you already own it, you should read it. You should love it. But if you're looking for a good book about, like, what it's like to be, like, a crazy teenager and, like, not feel okay, read Girl Interrupted and then read White Oleander. That's what you should read. I have to wake up, like, really. What time is it? What day is it? I don't know. Goodbye.